Hey guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be continuing to look at a scenario where civilization starts over. Now, in the last episode, we saw some crazy tensions start to build up as Rome made an alliance and Carthage also made theirs. And this is getting very bad now because right after all this tension has been happening, Roman boats will gear up and start to gear up and get into the Mediterranean right here, and Carthage will be like, yo, are you trying to intimidate me? Because you're not, it's not working, even though it is. And they're going to start to put their troops up here, their ships here, and they're going to put troops and ships over here too, right here, and they're going to put some ships here. This is getting really tense, and all these countries are starting to become a little bit scared. And no one knows what's going to happen now. In today's video, we are going to be continuing this scenario. Starting off, a bunch of these countries will start to make very aggressive speeches to their nation about the other nations and say that the other nations are trying to strip them of their freedom and what is good. And the red team will have some very, very important speeches where the leader is like very mad about how the Russians violated them last episode. This is getting really, really not good. And at this point, there are troops lined up on borders. Not here, because this whole area is fine. They're not very scared of each other. But troops, for example, will start to line up on the red team's border again. And the red team is definitely gearing up for war. Troops will start to prepare on the German Empire's border, also on Poland's border, which is actually less defended. Like, they have some very thin, like, outposts that are just being thrown around here. And these countries are actually getting pretty scared. If I had to say which, side this square alliance would go on to, even though they're not on a side, they would probably go to the circle side. So that's something to know. Now, something incredibly big is going to happen. For some reason, the pirate navy is going to be spotted with scouts around this area of the orange team, and more notably, there will be one right here in this little crease, and one off the coast of the capital. The orange team is not going to take this lightly, and well, what happens next? The orange team's allies, which are economic allies, which are these two over here, will join this alliance, and everyone's panicking now, as they should be, because World War Z is imminent. What's going to happen is that these two abandon their alliance. The square team will abandon their alliance to join the diamond team. And well, everyone is very, very intimidated and pressed at this point. The red team will start to put boats, and their whole navies will start to prep up across and also close to Istanbul, though the green team will not let them through, so they can't get to the Mediterranean. This does damage their trade, but they're starting to prepare all their troops very close up to the green team. They're preparing their navy close to the green team and very close up to Caucasia, and they're also preparing troops all the way up here on the Russian border. And well, now at this point, everyone is very tense. I'm gonna delete these alliances because I just can't have them on the map right now. They're a little annoying. I will put these back some other time, but as of right now, I just can't have them here. A Polish surveillance force was coming around this area to scout. They were in this area scouting the Russian troops, and well, what happens is that the Russian troops are very aware of their borders, but it seems like the blue team wasn't. So one of their scouts walk into the Russian Empire, and so does another one up here, and they are both immediately shot to death by the Russian troops. Poland will immediately condemn them for what they've done, and the German Empire gets also very mad about this, make speeches about how preposterous this is, and they will line up some Navy vessels here in the Baltic Sea. But of course the Russian Navy is much stronger than them, and they start to flood out of St. Petersburg and prepare all around here. And tensions are now at an all-time high. They're not going to be going down. After the 2 scouts were shot, the Russian Empire is going to stand very tightly by their claims, but Poland is going to say that the Russian Empire is not being reasonable and that they're causing this ruckus. And by the way, from now on, guys, I think I'm gonna use like a color like this for invasions, like a lighter color. They will keep condemning them, and well, what happens is invasion. This is actually very silly, but I guess the Polish were thinking that since the Russians aren't too preoccupied over here, it would be okay, and they're actually pretty right about that. And this area up here, there's an amphibious landing done by the German Empire over here, and over here. I'm gonna do it in the Poland's color. I don't feel like it, but I just don't think it would make sense to have the same team people with different colors. It will be a little confusing. So these troops are going to start to get into the Russian Empire. They meet up. The amphibious attack meets up with the main force, and well, the Russians are like, excuse me, but they actually have a reason to be late to their fighting, and that reason is that their troops are already prepared on the border of the red team, and well, boom. The troops start to flow in just like they had just done a few episodes before. The last episode. And their troops are flooding into the red team and coming down very quickly. This time the red team does know their tactics, but they have a weakened army, and they have lost a lot of their land, and well, they're pretty scared. And over here, I'm not gonna change the color. They're still in the same alliance. The green team will start to flood in their troops over here. Eventually, the Russian and green team troops will meet up together, and they will encircle this area and start to kill off a lot of these men, which are all finally destroyed. This is considered World War Z, by the way. The Caucasia will merge their forces and navy with the green team's forces and navy. They will make a landing right here, and now the red team is panicking like seriously, and they are regretting joining this war, and they realize that they're not fit for this. Here we take a break, and we're going to move over to the Rome versus Carthage front. I don't know if you guys know what's going to happen here. Actually, you don't know what's going to happen here. What's going to happen here is that Carthage is actually going to do pretty good for a second. They're going to start to reach into here, and right now it's starting to seem in the beginning that the Diamond Alliance is going to win this, but then Carthage starts to really rip into the purple team, and there's like this sense of resentment that's like crazily high for a country that was just created. The resentment is crazy. They reach up into Barcelona and they start to really push the Spanish Peninsula, and the Roman armies are like kind of freaking out because what's happening? How are we being destroyed by a country that just came out of us like only a couple decades ago? Again, time is in your hands, but like I'm gonna say it was like blurt it out. That was a couple decades ago, probably. These newly acquired islands aren't really like naval bases or anything, so they will be quickly overrun. And well, a lot of, even though it looks completely calm, and you also might be thinking, Meister, why is Carthage not landing here, or why is Rome not landing here and just pushing into here and destroying Carthage? Well, the reason is because there is such tense naval warfare right here. In fact, it's so tense that like they're having thousands of casualties and very quickly. And if I could show you what the waters are looking like, it would be like this whole thing is Carthage. This whole area is Rome, all the way up to here. This is kind of the borders of the sea dominance. I'm gonna delete that now. But basically, this is getting very tense. And the Carthaginians, actually, this is gonna be a very small part, but the Carthaginians make a little landing. Whoa. Carthaginians make a little landing right there. And the Romans are like, oh, heck no. You will be destroyed utterly and obliterated. So I'm gonna shrink in my brush size, and they take it back immediately. So that was short-lived, but guess what isn't going to be short-lived? This landing inside of Carthage, very close to their capital. This is going to be very tense, and it's just gonna sit here for now. But the Carthaginian troops are very much like slapping against them very hard, because they're panicking now. But they're just gonna sit here for now. The Carthaginian army that was over here is going to get a little bit more land, but then they will round off and start to retreat, which will cause the Romans to get some of their land back, especially in these islands. And well, it's seeming like the Carthaginians are also starting to lose. The Circle Alliance is also starting to lose on this front. Over to the Indian front, and right here we see, whoa, what just happened there? A large rocket was blasted into Yellow Team's territory. And, well, you guessed it, the Yellow Team and like the squares and the yellows are going to also join this war. Why did I say squares? The former squares, even though they joined the alliance yesterday, why did I say yesterday? Last episode, they didn't expect that a war would come, and they also just didn't join in time. But now the green team is going to actually start to lose this war a bit, because well, what's going to happen here is the yellow team starts to push in, and oh my god, I forgot this color thing. And here is their claim. Yeah, there. Now everything is lightened like it should be. The yellows continue their very strong press, and this is very scary for the green team, as they're realizing very quickly that they shouldn't have underestimated the yellow team. A city that is here right now is taken over. Rhodes is invaded, so is this other island right here. The Aegean is starting to be overrun, and this is actually very scary because Crete falls, and now they're getting a little bit too close. And it's a little strange that they're getting this far. Oh. The pirates have been supplying them with tech. That actually makes sense now. That's probably why they're moving so quickly in such intense war. So this is not working out well for the green team, and they're starting to panic. The yellow team is going to make landings here and get very freakishly close to the capital right here. But just in time, the green team's troops will arrive and start to absolutely eat down. Whoa. Start to absolutely eat down at the yellow team's troops and just chomp on all of them, just absolutely start to fry them, because once the true might of the green army arrived, the naval dominance was squandered, and well, I'm going to show you right now why the Somalis are going to need some help of their own, so they're going to return their attack to their homeland. So the green team is having a counter-offensive now, and this is not turning out well. Cyprus is going to fall in a second. So you can see right here, just take back down this front all the way back to how it was before. These troops are going to enter in. Cyprus is going to be overrun very quickly, as you could expect. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the yellow team capital is right here. Yeah, you should probably be able to see it now that I made it green. But they start to approach, and well, it doesn't turn out well for the green team, because now they're going to slow down, and well, that's all. Moving over here back to the Russian front, the Russians are going to start to blast back into this attack. Well, this is not turning out well for the red team, and the Caucasian landing will expand and connect with the front, and the red team is being reduced down to their capital. But it's at this second, and this is going to change the course of the war, Pentagon team troops realized that they could actually make something out of this war, and their troops are going to land right here in this area, and push back. As soon as they land, they are again repelled by the Russians. They're also going to learn why it was stupid of them to do that, because they're getting punished now. And the Russian troops are absolutely clapping them by flooding their troops into this country, and this country will eventually fall, followed by Caucasia invading this area, and so will this country. Anyway, they are going to completely fall. All of this is taken. As you definitely know, because the Russians and Caucasians are on a single team, they've not attacked each other. It's just a little map glitch. The red team is actually holding out surprisingly well here, and we'll come back to this front in a bit. Over here, the Indian front has begun, as very small portions of troops from these two countries, have come over here and landed in these Indian ports along this area. Definitely the capital is also definitely a port. All this area is having aid flowed into them, and so is aiding navies. And well, as you could expect, the orange team and their allies are going to start their invasion quite rapidly. And well, it's zooming through. The pirates are realizing why it was a bad idea to join an alliance, but because they're going to notice that even though there are so many countries joining, their alliance, it's not turning out well, and the capital is going to become the only thing left. Whoa, what just happened? Well, what happened is that suddenly, well, this is not how far back they made it, but suddenly there are some repulsions and some landings are made by the pirates, and they get the Indians out of their capital island. Well, guess who it was? The yellow team, which is also going to be punished right now. Troops start to flow into here. The Indians are just going to quickly cut off this access right here, so I'm going to keep it blocked with that color. And well, the pirates are kind of cooked, as it all falls apart, and the pirates will also fall. And immediately after this happens, the Indians will unblock the, what's it called? This strait right here. So, well, this is not turning out well, and it seems like the yellow team is starting to also regret their joining of the alliance, and well, there's no pulling out of the war now because they're already deep in the war, and since there are so many troops gathered up in the capital protection, nothing can really happen here. These green team troops will also make a landing right here to also start to continue their invasion. Green team will just do this a little bit, and they will cut off this whole area here and tell the Indians to continue their invasion from there. They will also come over here and cut off this area and tell the Indians to continue their invasion. And now the Sinai Peninsula is starting to become closed off, and well, this is not good for the yellow team, as basically none of their allies besides Carthage are still alive. So Carthaginian troops are going to be moving over there as soon as possible to try to protect them, but it's not going to turn out well because again the Indians will keep pressing, and well, this is over for the yellows, and they start to get pressed into. This continues, and it all falls apart. The Indian troops now withdraw, completely withdraw. Like, they don't even go to aid other countries. Oh, and by the way, over here, yeah, they're just gonna fall now. The red team has fallen. So has the yellow team, and now we're waiting on this front line. A new front line is going to open up. I can't believe I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I partially forgot that I had to do this front line. It's this German Empire front line. So the Germans are going to start to hit hard in hopes of cutting off the Balkan area of the Roman Empire from the French area, from the Italian area. They're trying to really cut them into pieces and then have Carthage take over Spain, the Iberia. So this is not turning out well for the Romans, but just in time, the Romans will start to make their pushback, which is going to start to press very hard, but the Carthaginians will also end up repelling them. There. The Carthaginians will repel them, but the Romans will still continue their offensive over here, and they will be able to escape. Whoa. They'll be able to pull them out of this area, and well, they're just gonna start to directly invade into. Whoa, what is this glitch? Well, they'll continue to directly invade here, and they're going to take over their North Sea coast, all of these islands, and Poland realizes what's coming for them, so they're going to start to prepare to move their troops away from here. And since the Russians have completed their front over here, you know what's about to happen. It's Russia time, and it's time for Russia to absolutely kick butt. They're going to slander through Poland and absolutely rip them apart. This is a giant World War Zero, and well, Russia is going to make Poland regret anything they've ever done, including being born. Poland's just gonna absolutely start to fall apart, and eventually the Russian troops meet up with the Purple Team troops, and well, this is not turning out well. The capital of Poland falls. The German Empire is going to take over this area. Like, I don't know how to show it to you guys, but they do take over this area, and the troops are starting to close in. Some troops end up here. Some troops are gonna end up here, but no matter how hard Germany tries to withstand the two-front war, it's not going to work. The capital is going to fall, and both nations have collapsed. That will be the conclusion of World. Whoa! Why did I say that? We still have a big front to continue, and this front is yet again the Carthaginian front. Right here and right now, the Romans will continue their landing right there. The Carthaginians will be pushed back very, very aggressively, and the Romans are just kind of showing them, they're sending a message, kind of. They're not actually sending a message because we haven't reached that age yet, but they're kind of sending a message to them saying, next time think before you decide who your rival will be. And they're really intimidating Carthage, and I know this is a little bit of a leak over here, but ignore it. Carthage is really feeling the pressure, and they're just defending their capital with literally all the troops they have. So any troops that are still out are just like last ditch resorts, and like they're just sitting there trying to see if they can do any damage to the oncoming Roman troops. And then the last area left is going to be the capital. And I'm actually going to do this pixel by pixel to show how monumentous this is. So all the land around will be taken away, and they're just going to reach the city limits, just the city limits. And they will slowly start to climb inside of the city and absolutely wreak havoc. They will kill so many people that you can see the blood pouring throughout the streets. And finally, the Capitol building will be entered, and the leader of Carthage will be killed. And that concludes World War Zero. Take a look at this map right now for the because everything is about to change. Okay, so looking at this peace treaty, we can see that the world looks much different. Poland is now just a Russian puppet. The red team has been reduced just to how they looked when the series started. This nation is going to be the West's Red Sea. I'm just gonna call them I'm actually not sure what to call them. What team? What color is this? I don't even know what to call this. The yellow team has been reduced to just Palestine and the Sinai Peninsula. This looks like Israel in 1969, I'm gonna be honest. The pirates have been utterly embarrassed. All they have is 2 islands now. Well, these 2 got literally nothing. As you can see, India got all of this area here. The Horn of Africa. They also expanded down here a little bit, and there was some exploration done, by the way, off cam. But now they control the strait, so this should be helpful for their trade, this area right here. And that will be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.